As of this video, the license to make toys for Godzilla vs. Kong belongs to Playmates. And I'm not talking about collectibles and stuff, I'm talking about toys. The cheap plastic stuff for kids to knock around. Playmates made a variety of characters and variants inspired by the movie. I have a few myself. Here's a Skullcrawler, and here's a Warbat. But then at some point, someone at Playmates went to town on a mountain of cocaine, and they released the Titan Tech figures. Target exclusives of Godzilla and Kong that can transform into Godzilla and Kong, but with tech. Why? Who knows? The packaging doesn't offer much beyond the basic lore, but the implication is that the tech has something to do with Monarch. Monarch fitted these guys with exoskeletons and armor. Maybe the Godzilla and Kong fight bored them, and they gave the monsters gear to make it more interesting. These toys are bonkers, so naturally I had to get them.
With Monarch's incredible Titan Tech armor, they transform, reconstruct, reshape to make them nearly invincible, transformed and ready for battle.
You might have noticed that these ads are voiced by a strapping young man.
Titan Tech Kong and Titan Tech Godzilla.
And here he is again in the toy transformation tutorials.
After you remove Godzilla from the packaging, snap on his tail. Then, transforming Godzilla into a Monarch Mega Monster is easy and fun.
In my day, Godzilla toys were made of pure lead, and their eyes lit up from the mercury. There's a lot to do to transform these guys. It's not hard. In fact, it's pretty intuitive, but there's a lot to do. And I won't lie, there's an intense body horror element to this that distracts me from the whole thing.
Pull out the blades on the shins.
Finally, a Shin Godzilla that lives up to his name. Alright, let's check this out. I do like a jet black Godzilla toy, and I really enjoy these dorsal plates. We'll just put his tail on here. Hey, we're not transforming yet. Godzilla. Normal Godzilla. I mean, you can see some parts that will transform, like this isn't gonna be mistaken for a standard Playmates Godzilla toy, but it's got the silhouette right, and it's not too bad. We've got jaw articulation in the arms, the legs move, and the tail twists. But whatever, let's transform it. Schematics here, schematics. Look at the schematics. First, you snap them like a wishbone. Ah! So that's what's inside Godzilla. All those anatomy illustrations were full of baloney. Oh god, you split the other side and it just looks like I broke this thing. This is hilarious. You take the stuff that's in his body out of his body, like the dorsal plate protectors, so Kong can't break one off and make another axe. You're supposed to snap these together over his dorsal plates, and honestly, this is the most time-consuming part of the transformation. All over his body are these little parts that spin to reveal little mech parts. I'm not sure if Godzilla is supposed to be a cyborg, or if this is just armor going over his skin. It's easy to forget some, or miss them completely if you're not using the instructions. The part that disturbs me the most is this piece of skin that you rip off and then you put up by his head. So he looks like he's got a popped collar of flesh. He's got these blades or buzzsaws in his legs and in one arm, because he's taken a page from the Book of Gigan. And here is a full transformation Godzilla, before and after. I dig that the mech parts are blue, it's a nice contrast to the black body. And he looks mostly cool. Again, it's got a very exoskeleton armor feel. These parts here really disturb me, though. Alright, let's take a look at Optimus Primal over here. Wait, is this Kong? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 slashes. This is legally Kong. Same as Godzilla, looks mostly okay in normal form. Even slightly better than Godzilla, I'd say. Great arm articulation. They actually go up, down, and out. Legs move. That ass. Schematics here, schematics. Look at the schematics. Let's hear what Old Man Withers has to say.
Transforming Kong into a Monarch Mega Monster is easy and fun. Split his body open at the shoulders.
Look at this guy just normalize gorilla body horror. That's terrifying. Let me try that. Yeah, so Kong actually has 2 heads, and you flip his body around, and then pop the tech head up. You know, the head where Kong has sunglasses on. And a headset. With a microphone. What is he, a gamer? Is he working at a customer service center? What possible reason could there be to give Kong a headset? Funny thing is, I can get the sunglasses, like things like Godzilla's heat ray are bright. Gotta protect those eyes. But the microphone, man! Operators are standing by to fling poo at you. Gotta have that Monarch logo on him because Monarch is all about that branding. You can actually extend Kong's arm length slightly, like he's a 1990s Reed Richards action figure. So I guess this does imply he's sort of a cyborg? Like Godzilla, Kong's got all sorts of switchable parts down his arms and legs. And just like Godzilla, it's easy to miss one. I don't think I knew about this hand switch until actually making this video. Kong the Monarch, ooh, ooh, ah, ah, over. Kong's got some alternate battle axe. It looks like it came from the planet Eternia. It takes some force, but he can hold it well. You can also snap it onto his back, so it looks like he's holding his axe on his back just by sheer magic. Alright, here's Kong's before and after. And here's Godzilla and Kong together, looking like they're about to kick off their 1980s Metal World Tour. So looking at these figures, I can't help but think of some of the Godzilla Trendmasters toys from the 90s, like the Snap-on Armor toys. And more specifically, these remind me of my Doom Island Mega Mutation Godzilla and Destoroyah. These even have some same transformations that work exactly the same. Although, with the Doom Island guys, the transformations are strictly meant to be organic, while over in the Monsterverse, they're just sprouting mecha parts from within. It's like fighting Mechagodzilla gave them a virus that slowly overtakes their body from the inside out. I mean, that makes more sense than, oh, Monarch did this. I mean, how? Why? Godzilla and Kong are still fighting each other. It's not like they're suited up to go on an adventure in outer space. I would buy those figures too, though. I would buy these guys in space costumes. Here are Titan Techs next to Skullcrawler and Warbat. Alright, time to turn them back. Turning your gamer Kong back to regular monkey is easy and fun. Just close all these doors like so. Twist his head so it doesn't look like he's on the internets. Last time I was on the internets, I got scammed by someone saying he's with the IRS, and I lost all my money. But it's okay. Today I got an email saying I won a sweepstakes. I just gotta send them a gift card to cover taxes, and they'll send me all my done. I find it easier to transform Kong back and forth than Godzilla. Not that Godzilla's hard, I just get a little stuck on a few more spots than I do with Kong. It is kind of impressive how easy they are to transform. I remember 80s Transformer toys that were harder to transform than these guys. These figures have a lot of transformational parts, and some are easy to miss. In fact, I neglected to raise Kong's little shoulder radar here. And I didn't even know there were doors in his thighs until somebody in the comments told me. Maybe I should have spent less time making fun of this guy and more time listening to him. Titan Tech Rodan. He is also a Target exclusive who started hitting shelves in September 2023. And he's a very interesting release because this is the first Titan Rodan figure by Playmates at all. They didn't make a regular Monsterverse Rodan figure, they skipped right to Titan Tech. I love the try me gimmick on the packaging, like, oh wow, I made a piece of his chest look weird, mommy buy me this. Let's free Rodan from the confines of this packaging and he looks like a triangle. Of course I gotta get his Batman wings out too. And these just snap on. You gotta give it some real push, but afterwards they're real nice and secure. And here's Rodan doing an intimidation pose. And again, without the transformation gimmick, I think this is actually a decent figure. His head can turn all around. His legs can move. And that's gonna be it for articulation. Look at all these screws. Somebody screwed Rodan good. Here comes Rodan! Flying across the room! Well, this time around, I'm gonna transform Rodan with the actual instructional video on. I hope transforming him is easy and fun.
Transforming Rodan into a Monarch Mega Monster is easy and fun.
Oh, thank God.
First, open Rodan's back. Extract the chest armor. I heard what you said about me in the last video, MIB.
What?
And secure the chest armor by snapping the Monarch logo into place. I'm gonna sneak into your room tonight and drop a duke on all your favorite toys.
Hey, chill out, Pops.
Just you wait until people make fun of you for your age.
People already make fun of me for my age. Transforming Rodan is the easiest Titan tech so far. And there's another piece in his back that's not mentioned in the instructional video. So this time, Grandpa forgot to do a transformation. It's this piece you flip to put on his back. You have to flip these parts of the wings up. Why? It looks like you're just replacing flesh with a different color flesh. I seriously don't know what's up with this particular feature. Maybe they just needed some body horror in this toy to match the other ones. Got some little pieces on his legs here. His wings have hidden compartments too, with more little parts you can pull out. If there's one part of the transformation that might slow down your momentum just a little bit, it's just getting this small piece over his hands. It can get a little caught up. And that is a fully transformed Rodan. Like I said, the easiest of the 3 Titan techs. And visually, he looks good. But if you really dive into this, nothing about this makes sense. You can say his shoulder blades are so Ghidorah or whoever can't bite his head off, but also, he can't turn his own head without chopping off his beak now. What good are these tiny blades on his wings? And also, that's it for blades. What even is the rest of his tech? There are no weapons anywhere. It's just this fancy vest for Rodan to wear when he goes out. Is this just Monarch branding their monsters like NASCAR? What is the lore here? Here comes Rodan! I got a shiny vest! And little else. Here's Rodan with the other guys. Much shorter, but obviously much wider. Jokes aside, Rodan is my favorite of these releases yet. Although it is hard to compete with Kong's microphone.
Easy win. Chop, 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 chop.
Godzilla's my least favorite. I don't think he looks great in regular or Titan mode. Easy win! Now let me just stab you with my tiny elbow blade here. Hold still, just a minute. They do all look great together. There's definitely consistent theming here, and that's unifying this bizarre toy line. It's not like transforming any of these guys reveals a ton of weapons. I guess you can argue these are little missiles on Godzilla here, and here on Kong. But they're all rinky-dink little weapons. If these were Trendmaster's toys, you know these guys would be locked and loaded. Alright, let's transform them back. Transforming Rodan back is easy and fun. But seriously, it's all a matter of slipping parts back into these trap doors along his back. That's almost all of it. Here's everyone in normal mode, and you can see how Rodan is the best at passing by as just a regular figure, because his doors and hinges are all hidden, the best of the 3 figures.
Transforming Godzilla is easy and fun. Start by pulling back the chest flap. Peel the skin back, stretching it over
peeling his
Godzilla's
skin
head and
off!
off both arms.
This is
Pull
so
the skin down
cringy.
and
What
peel
is
it-
the opposite of ASMR? Look at his old skin resting beside him, like a snake after it shed its skin. This is the Titan Evolution Godzilla. You see, what happened was this. In the upcoming movie, it appears that Godzilla will look as we last left him until he evolves into Pank. So in this Playmates toy line, you can get the standard Godzilla here, black skin, blue dorsal plates, and you can get the new evolved Godzilla, King of the Pank. And that is fine. Nobody would expect Playmates to take the concept of the evolution any further than this. But they did. There's a separate toy that's supposed to represent the evolution a little closer, with the original Godzilla skin peeling off to reveal Pank. I'm far from the first YouTuber to talk about this figure, and like so many others, I'm totally gonna smack this toy around to silly sound effects, because you have to. So we start with the Godzilla we're all familiar with, looking kinda heavy. You've heard of Godzilla Earth? Well, this is Godzilla Girth. Very rubbery, you can pull almost anywhere. The figure inside has basic articulation, and that carries over to the outer Godzilla skin. You wanna know what? Have you ever seen those photos or videos of people wearing costumes that look like people? That's what this toy feels like to me! On the front is this giant flap where you can start to see the figure within. Even just peeling open the flap to see the skin underneath is just cringe to me. This is supposed to be the same character.
Duh! Take me to the Hollow Earth, cousin. You said we'd get to go to the Hollow Earth, cousin. Do they have snickerdoodles in Hollow Earth, cousin? I want snickerdoodles!
The tail is especially wiggly. The rubber on the side of the tail has a hole on each side. I had to look it up if the hole was supposed to be there because I honestly thought I ripped the skin already. Alright, time to peel this off. Every single stage of this creates a bizarre Godzilla image. Like, what is going on here? Why does Godzilla look like a kangaroo? The skin can easily get stuck on Godzilla's dorsal plates, his claws, his toenails. Look at this, it's like Godzilla's trying to fight off an evil alien symbiote. Godzilla's tail is detached. I guess that's supposed to make this whole dance easier. Thankfully, this little rope is holding it together. And it's really easy to get the tail to reattach. And here's evolved Godzilla. It is a proper figure. And the rubber suit can still stand, even with nothing inside of it except the Holy Ghost. Also, I guess when Godzilla evolved, he also shrunk a little. Alright, fine. Let's look at the actual figure. It's unique to the other Godzilla figures in this line, even though at first glance you might not notice a difference at all. One difference is our Titan Evolution figure doesn't have these elbow spikes, I'm sure because they got caught in his wetsuit. The tail is the other major difference. Our guy has a straight tail with not much on the end, while the other figures have these kind of hook tails, so that when I take them off a shelf they could pull multiple other figures with them. I think our guy has some better paint coloring too. The translucent and non-translucent dorsal plate colors aren't so mismatched as they are with the other figures. The Godzilla's arms also have more range of motion, again to make it easier to put on and remove the skin. But I actually think all of the Godzilla figures could have benefited from this. Look, I'm an aeroplane. The rest of the articulation is the standard stuff: legs, tail, ankles, tiny bit in the head. The jaw opens up, and there's no hole in this guy's mouth, so he can't borrow any of the atomic breath pieces from the other figures in this line. There are a lot of Godzillas in this line. If you want a Godzilla toy from this movie, you've got options. But only one of the figures gives you the chance to do this. Okay, a few things about this skin. One, it collects dust real easy. It'll pick up tiny bits of whatever off the floor, hair sticks to it, you might have to clean it here and there. 2, Scar King is now an alien chest burster! 3, this is the kind of material that might melt in situations you wouldn't guess, like if you left it near a heater or like a computer tower. So be careful. Look, he's inside out! The shapes you could distort this Godzilla into are hilarious, if you have the mind of a child, which I do. Putting the figure back in is even less easy and less fun. We'll start with the tail. Come on! Get in there! Come on! Oh, it's too tight! Oh, I'm gonna get demonetized. I find this harder than taking the figure out. You have to feed the feet all the way down the legs, but the claws on the toes get caught on the rubber. Look at this. This looks like me putting on jeans that are a size too small, but they fit me, I swear! I didn't gain weight! I don't see myself taking this skin on and off and on and off. It's too much hassle. Hey, just like those Microman figures I reviewed ages ago. What even is this shape here? What is this monster I'm looking at? Somebody do fan art of this. Oh, I know. I forgot to put the arms in. There. Now that's Godzilla. So honestly, even with the claws and the dorsal plates, I think the head is the hardest part. It's easy to get the skin around the head, don't get me wrong, but getting the mouth just right took me more time than any other part. I kept winding up with this dolphin smile. But eventually it got there and oh, I can't squishy squash anymore. Somebody thought of this! There were meetings about this! And everyone sat around a table and just said, yeah, let's do it! Stop drilling, you've hit oil!
Fearsome Godzilla has evolved to become more powerful than ever and joins the mighty Kong.
What happened to the Playmates guy's voice? I think he's trying to be tough, but he sounds like he just needs to cough really bad. Sugo throws a rocket, Skarking! Playmates has released the first wave of toys and merch for Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. I've got a good chunk of toys here, let's take a look. And I'm gonna start with Kong, who's wearing the cast Monarch gave him. It looks really good here. It's very nicely sculpted. And instead of 3 slashes, his chest scars are now a tic-tac-toe game because Godzilla scarred the monkey for life. Kong comes with a biomimic heave ship. Looks like a cricket. I'm starting with Kong because, for some reason, Kong is a really good figure. I mean, even for Playmates, this is just really good. Kong looks great, he balances well, he articulates in a lot of places, he's got some good weight to him. This is a very, very good Kong toy. He moves at the head, shoulders with a lot of range of motion, elbow joints, legs, even the knee joints, and one wrist can turn too. I love this Kong. He's making Godzilla look bad, man. This is a standard pre-evolved Godzilla. I like the paint application on the dorsal plates, and I dig these colors. He doesn't feel quite as premium as Kong. He feels par for the course. Look at my guy's jaw. It's not even aligned right. I can't take him seriously.
French fry potatoes.
So yeah, mouth opens and closes, shoulders move, tail, legs, ankles, which is always a bonus. And he's got the battle damage gimmick, which I always thought was a weird gimmick. Like, I feel like I'm picking a scab off to reveal ribcage and muscle. Ugh! How'd Godzilla get a worse chest cut than Kong? At least when you stick the skin back on, it's real flush with the figure and hidden pretty well. Unless you count this Shazam lightning bolt outline on Godzilla. He comes with a blue beam, which connects to a hole in his upper mouth. You just wedge it up there, and boom! Atomic. I'm spending too much time on him. Forget him. Blue is out. Pank is in. Godzilla will evolve into this form. The dorsal plates have gone translucent until they're not, and it's just a really harsh transition into this salmon pink color here. Articulation is all the same. His translucent atomic breath isn't my favorite. When you get it in there, it's got this weird side splash. It looks liquidy. Looks like he's throwing up plasma. I'm gonna jump to these 2-packs because I really like these, and repaints of all these figures came in these 2 Versus boxes that also have cardboard diorama pieces. So here's the Godzilla Shimo set. Godzilla is awesome! Now he has this wash of icy blues, and I really like that. I strongly prefer this Godzilla to the other one. Here's Shimo. As I make this video, I still don't really know what she looks like in the film. But the toy is interesting. Diorama version's got more blues again, which I personally prefer. Shimo's interesting because she can pose on 4 legs, kind of like a hissing cat with an arched back. Or she can go on 2 legs, which makes her taller than Godzilla, so he can talk to the hand. Her shoulders can fan out wide like Kong, so you can make it look like she's a school crossing guard. The mouth opens. Her entire lower jaw is hanging down like the dentist shot it up with Novocaine. More articulation in the wrists, legs, ankles, tail, head. And at least with the flip jaw, it's easy to get her nice blue ice blast in there. I'm still not a fan of the side spill look, but it looks better for Shimo than Godzilla at least. The cardboard pieces can be punched out to make the diorama. If this is anything like that vintage Tricephalon playset I showed you a while ago, these pieces will not age well. This diorama's cool though. It's hollow earth and there's this huge rib cage. It's very easy to assemble and it actually does look kinda cool. I think these sets are great. 2 figures, all their accessories, better paint in most cases, and some diorama pieces. It's a good score. So let's go to the Kong and Scar King set. They're also duking it out in hollow earth. The Kong paint variant is just okay. They went a little nuts on the red. It looks like he got sunburnt really bad. I don't mind it, but they painted over his trademark scars, so now this can be any gorilla with a metal yellow glove. Scar King's a good figure. He looks great. Paint is really nice on this Kratos-looking monkey. He's looking more reddish yellow now. All the same articulation as Kong down to the wrists, and added movement in the middle. Trickier to balance than Kong because of his slim frame. But his gimmick is great. You could take off the spine here and make him hold it like a whip. Playmates just really nailed it with the apes so far. Moving over to this 2-pack with Suko and Doug. Now, for a little toy, Suko has a lot of movement. His head turns, his shoulders, elbows, wrists. and he turns right at the belly. And he's got movement in his legs, knees, and his ankles? Kong and Scar King didn't have ankle articulation. How did this little Zuko toy become the most articulated figure in this entire line? Giving this weird judgmental side eye. Hey, back off, monkey. Zuko comes with a rock. I guess you can make him throw it like he did in the ad. Doug is here, and he's just got no color, no gradients. He's just jet black. I don't love that. He could have used some more colors. He does have a surprising amount of motion, though. He's got a lot of tail motion. All 4 legs can move. And his head can turn. His jaw is fixed, though. Alright, let's go to these Battle Roar figures, Godzilla and Kong. They're new molds, as you can see. I don't know why Godzilla's looking so far up. He's slightly taller than the regular figure, but pretty much the same look and the same articulation. You can't miss this big tumor he's got here. This is the roar button. Playmates went the extra mile with these. They don't just have sound boxes, but their mouths move automatically when you hit the button, and it's a nice touch. Kong is a much different figure now. Bigger, no glove, new pose. He loses a lot of articulation. We're down to just shoulders, wrists, and legs. That's it. But his face when he roars is amazing. His button is on his back, so it's a little better hidden. Check this out. Oh, I love that.
I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you.
Don't think I missed the Battle Roar Scar King. I just picked him up after I shot the rest of this video. Same deal as Kong. New mold, articulation down to shoulders, wrists, and legs. He's got his weapon, but this time it's not removable. But just like Kong, when he roars, his face moves very realistically. Finally today, 3 giant figures. These are big guys. They're about 11 inches. These guys are blown up versions of the figures I just showed you. All the same articulation. And while they don't have accessories, Scar King could still use his whip. Works a little better too, it straightens out more. The Godzilla also happens to scale pretty well with this big Jakks Pacific Godzilla, if you happen to have that guy too. It's a nice little before and after. Now we should talk about the super rare Chase Arctic Kong figure. Oh, and also Imperial Godzilla here, painted to look like the old Imperial toys. Nah, I'm joking. I just had 2 extra figures and I gave him a quick paint job. First up is Mega Heat Ray Godzilla. He's 13 inches high. He's got lights and sounds, and he shoots mists from his mouth, very similar to the Jada RC toy I reviewed this year.
Titans collide in epic battle. Godzilla, king of the monsters.
Every time we hear from this guy, his voice is more modulated.
Sounds the challenge. And unleashes his misty heat ray. 13-inch Mega Heat Ray Godzilla.
Did he just say Godzilla in the year 2024?
13-inch Mega Heat Ray Godzilla.
He did! He just said Godzilla! To go with this figure is the 13-inch Mega Punchin' Kong. He's also got lights and sounds and this punching gimmick. I didn't buy these toys, but I did run into them at Target, near all these other random things. What's cool is I could try them right here. Let's just hit this giant button. Godzilla's got a couple of sounds. Either that or his battery's dying. I grabbed the Battle Roar Godzilla to show you the size difference. Let's hear our boy Kong. You can't really get that punch effect when he's still in the packaging. I can't even turn him around to look at that ass. I should just do this going forward. I should just go to Target and film the Playtime episodes there. Now, I did basically get every other figure, so quickly, let's revisit the giant figures from Wave 1. And we got Godzilla, Kong, and Scar King. But we didn't get a giant Shimo, even though she had a standard-sized toy. Well, she's late to the party, but she's here. We can finally complete the 3rd act tag team fight. How cool is this? Like the others, Shimo is basically just scaled up, but she does have some differences. The big one being here in the jaw. It's a different hinge to open and close it. You can't flap it all the way down like you can on the standard size toy. But the important thing is she still has that wild range of articulation in her arms. Stop right there! I gotta know right now. She's got leg articulation, the ankles all turn, and a tail that can go basically anywhere. I'm very excited for the Giant Shimo also because Giant Shimo scales pretty okay with the standard figures. If you wanted to have some scaling closer to the movie, you can put the big Shimo in with these guys. I think you can have a lot of fun with that. You know, a similar thing happened with the Battle Roar figures. In the last video, I showed you Battle Roar Godzilla, Kong, and Scar King. Well, Shimo was late to that party too.
Let's plan a birthday dance. Math class is tough.
Nah, I'm kidding. Here's the real roar. That's a roar. That's Chewbacca. Tail can move, all four legs move, and the ankles move too. Now the tag team is complete for the battle roaring figures as well. And here are the 3 Shimo sizes currently available. She comes in Yi, Not So Yi, and freaking huge! Wave 1 had a lot of variations of Godzilla. They have his first form, and then all these versions of Pank. But they missed what was in between in the movie. They missed bleh. This is Energized Godzilla. Energized Godzilla is a repaint of the standard Godzilla. He's even got the outline of the battle damage gimmick on his chest, although you can't remove it here, so now it's just one big confusing distraction. Now you know I love my translucent blues, so of course I dig the dorsal plates. But the rest of the toy is just kinda meh in my opinion. His face, hands, and feet are different colors than his body, and especially with the feet, it is an abrupt color change. It looks like he's wearing mittens and socks. I don't think the body colors are that bad, all things considered. I just find these color changes so unattractive. He comes with a plane. It's a plane. Can't have a new Godzilla without a new Kong. This is Kong pre-glove with battle axe, and I'm really glad we finally have a battle axe at this scale. Believe it or not, this is not a lazy repackaging of the Kong from the Godzilla vs. Kong line. I mean, look, he's got more battle scars, come on. But seriously, kudos to Playmates for improving on Kong. And even though they reused a lot of the same body from the new Empire Kong, they at least gave us a different head sculpt. And to be honest, I prefer the close mouth version. And I already spoke at length on how much I love this mold last time, so let's just move on oh, they should do one with his arm all frozen. That'd be a good figure. Alright, enough with these same characters over and over. Here's something new. I was very surprised to hear Tiamat got a figure. And viewer, would you believe me if I said she's pretty cool? Definitely twisty wormy, which is awesome. Here she is, just happy to be here. Don't take my Pank! Oh, I hope nobody comes into my home and steals the color Pank! And we got articulation in the tail, all of the legs, body segment here, and here, and here, and the head can swivel around. And the jaw can open and close. Not bad at all. Tiamat scales decent with Godzilla, and you can twist her all around him and have the two really go at it. Oh, and she comes with a black submarine. Yippee. And that's all the characters, right? But it's not, because Playmates actually released Mothra. She's been real hard to find for a lot of people, and for some of you, this might be the first time you're finding out she exists. And it's a shame because I really like this Mothra figure. Her articulation is all in the wings. There are 4 sections. You can individually move up and down to position her wings any way you like. The hinges are nice, but you're probably not going to get like a perfectly symmetrical look here. And the wings might come with some very normal warp as well. Another issue is the design on the wings. They're stickers, which is fine, but mine came with some areas of sticker wrinkling. And there's even a little bit of peeling going on over here. You probably won't get her to stand on her own either. Oh, and get this! Her accessory is Jaya! Yeah, this little fully painted figurine is Jaya, officially making this the 3rd MonsterVerse human character to get a figure. How nuts is that? That's some wacky scaling. Jaya scales better with the Giant Mothra! Yes, this is an awesome figure! Giant Mothra comes with a stand she can easily attach to for display, and it works like a dream. She's got the same wing movements as the small version, but unlike her small version, this one's got limb articulation in 4 spots. Also, when you move these wings, there's sort of a clicking. It feels more heavy duty. You can change her entire look just by how far up or down you set her wings. Her wings are stickers again, but these didn't come so worn looking right out of the box. It is so cool to have a good legendary Mothra figure. I'm so frustrated that she's not showing up in more stores, because if you like these Playmates figures, you will absolutely love the Mothra. But don't let my endorsement let those clowns on eBay drive the price up on you. These prices are absurd. Okay, one more from the second wave that we need to discuss are the two Titan figures, Titan Godzilla and Titan Kong. These are 23 inches high, making them the largest Godzilla and Kong toys we've seen in America. Playmates seriously wanted to give us these two characters in every scale possible. These guys don't light up or make sounds or anything, they're just big. Too big for my house, so I'm gonna pass on these guys and wait to get a sudden urge to have them when they're 5 times the price. And I was all ready to wrap this video, and then this started appearing in Targets, the Ultimate Titan Battle. It's a pack with 5 monsters in repaints and the accessories included with their individual releases. What a quick and easy way to get the main monsters if you don't already have them. I'm only going by pictures, but I'm not a fan of most of these paint jobs, although supposedly the Godzilla is more screen accurate. I spotted them at Target soon after the video, but I passed on them, and then I never saw them again. In your visits to the stores, you might have noticed a slight redesign going on here. The new Empire toys now appear more as a clearer part of Playmates' all-encompassing Monsterverse brand. They've even re-released older figures with this new packaging. I got King Ghidorah and Mechagodzilla. They're both okay. Ghidorah's a tough monster to turn into a toy, I get it, but this one's meh. Mechagodzilla's better. They both have battle damage. We're not here to talk about these. We're here to talk about the new releases, and I've got a lot of nice things to say. We're going to start with the Drowned Viper from the new Empire. This is the monster Kong fought while Zuko tried to run away. It's a big, long, snake-like monster, and if you're having deja vu, it's because, yeah, we just sorta had a snake-like monster with Tiamat. But Drowned Viper is clearly much bigger than Tiamat. This is how snakes make snakes. Drowned Viper has a hinge at the jaw.
Watch me whip. Watch me nay-nay.
And then after that, it's oops all ball joints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This means all sorts of snaky poses. If you're patient, and you're lucky, you can manage to get the Drowned Viper to hold an upright pose. Not really, though. Look at how big it is next to Kong, and you can really wrap him around, too. You can pretend they're fighting. You can even pretend Kong chopped off his head, like in the movie. No, I didn't break the toy. This is an advertised feature on the box. The head pops off. Kong can eat it. But was this supposed to pop off? Was this supposed to pop off? This? Sir, your sushi is ready. Do you know what this means? It means Playmates needs to redo their garbage Warbat figure to be more like Drowned Viper. How cool would that be? That's the problem with improving these figures. You're making the old ones look bad. Here's One Eye. In the new Empire, this is one of Scar King's hench apes. I was hoping they'd make a couple of evil ape soldier toys, so I was really glad to see them. And I hope we get Stone Fist and Catcher next. Lots of articulation in the shoulders, the head, the torso. What the?
Mom, don't come in here.
Legs, knees. No swivel in the ankles, though. That's different. One Eye comes with this Fred Flintstone comically oversized bone. I don't know, I feel like One Eye looks like the boss here. He looks more imposing. Good thing Scar King's got a Shimo. Next to Kong, it looks like a good match. Little monster fans are eating good. This is the King of the Monsters, Mothra. No, they didn't just take the new Empire Mothra and make it blue. They changed stuff. For one, they changed the wing placement. I know that was bothering a lot of you out there. Blue Mothra's body is also slightly larger with some detail to make it stand on its own. Another win for Playmates. Now they just need to make a King of the Monsters Rodan, because all we have is this Titan Tech Rodan, and this scaling here is all over the place. On to the real feel toys. Yes, Playmates thought we'd like to know what Godzilla and Kong feel like. Kong is flock, so he feels soft, not like an ape, more like a calico critter. That fuzzy ass. Did they have to put the screw hole here? Kong looks miserable, like he's being forced to wear pajamas that were gifted from his aunt. And he loses articulation from the standard toy. He can't bend at the elbows. Or the knees. Now, real feel Godzilla, who cares what he feels like? Playmates finally released this Godzilla in the right colors. Yes, this whole time Playmates has been making this Godzilla a sort of teal with salmon dorsal plates. But now we have a black Godzilla with hot pink plates, and this time they painted the elbow spikes too. We oddly lose the ankle articulation, I don't know why, but otherwise, this is the new Godzilla base figure for the new Empire in my book. Oh, and what does it feel like? It's sort of like a softer plastic, that's it. Real Feel Godzilla doesn't come with a blast effect, but it does have a hole in its upper mouth, so it can borrow another Godzilla's atomic breath. Speaking of another Godzilla, this new release is Burning Godzilla. We're back to the king of the monsters when Godzilla powers up to defeat King Ghidorah. Like any decent Burning Godzilla toy, we've got fiery translucence with ashy black accents. I think it's gorgeous. The only issue is the feet. It's got the same problem that the blue energized Godzilla had. It looks like they're wearing slippers because the feet don't match the rest. Although with Blue Godzilla, the face doesn't look great either. On Burning Godzilla, the face matches much better. Also, like Blue Godzilla, Burning Godzilla's got the lightning bolt-shaped wound mark on its chest that used to be a removable piece on the older toys, but is sealed here. At least with the Burning Godzilla, it's harder to see. Burning Godzilla comes with a hole in its mouth and a fire effect to stick in there. Die! Look at all these Godzilla options from Playmates, and this isn't even everyone. Teal, blue, orange, black, pink, many options. The new Kong figure to coincide with this Godzilla is a Skull Island Kong. I didn't get this guy, but he comes with a helicopter and a huge chain propeller. This is the same Kong they released a while ago, although it does have an updated paint job, including removing the muddy feet effect. They also glued the battle damage gimmick on this one so it doesn't work. That's a weird choice to me. Last we have Frostvark. Frostvark? Yeah, this is a monster from the Apple TV show Monarch Legacy of Monsters. I should hope Monarch Monsters would get toys. There's one right on the box here. But this one is Frostvark. Head moves, shoulders, elbows. I need to get these toys some WD-40. Back legs, back knees, tail. Crazy how there are two monsters who can freeze things, albeit differently. In summer 2025, it was announced that a TMNT Godzilla collaboration was in the works in the form of a crossover comic miniseries by IDW and a line of figures from Playmates. And these figures are turtle characters combined with Toho monsters. These arrived in Target stores October 2025, the time I'm making this video. I don't know if this ties into the comic yet, because the comic's not out yet at the time I'm making this video. There is some variant cover art out there with this hybrid form, though. So, Leonardo is Godzilla, Raphael is Rodan, Michelangelo is King Ghidorah? That's a weird one. And that's it. On the back of the box is art where we can see that Donatello is Jet Jaguar. So I have to believe there's a good chance we're gonna get a second wave of these figures. The text on the back of the box says that this is a mashup of the 1987 TMNT series, that's the one I grew up on, and the nostalgic styling of the 1978 Godzilla animated TV series. What, Hanna-Barbera Godzilla? Maybe in the logo, and later you'll see it in Leo's dorsal place, but this whole thing isn't making me think of Hanna-Barbera Godzilla, really. By the way, Hanna-Barbera Godzilla also appears on a variant comic book cover. I like this here that they're 1 in 1200 scale. On the bottom of Leo and Mikey are some basic assembly directions. Nothing for Raph here. So, let's check out Godzilla Leonardo, King of the Mutants. I gotta say, he doesn't look bad at all. This does not feel forced. You get a little city backdrop here if you want, a little diorama. And now, let's cut these 50 plastic things. Leo is free, so we're gonna put his shell on. And you get a real good snap and everything. And you can see that the dorsal plates are modeled, like I said, after the Hanna-Barbera star-shaped design. Articulation, head turns and nods, and shoulders go everywhere. Some bending at the elbows, and wrists turn. Legs go up and down and out. Leonardo is open for business. Look at this, the legs go everywhere. It's pretty outstanding. Knees move and ankles. And the tail turns. I like that they were able to give Leo that hunched Godzilla posture. I think they did really well with this one. Honestly, the toy looks nice, and Playmates did not skimp on the articulation. Now, for accessories, we get the katanas, but they're glowing with Godzilla's radioactive breath. and the flames are translucent, and you get 2! So it's not like most Leo toys where you could put the swords on the back of a shell somewhere, nah, but you understand. Handles easily go in the hands, and we've got Leonardo looking the most hardcore he's ever looked. As I pose him, I'm finding not everything holds. Sometimes the wrist turns and the sword falls, but for the most part, it's more like hi-ya! Hi-ya! Ya! I'll be honest, I like this toy a lot more than I expected to. Like I said before, they were able to make this fusion look organic, and they kept it equal parts turtle and equal parts Godzilla. Plus, I'm just crazy about the Atomic Breath swords, really. Here's Godzilla Leo with NECA Wrestling Leonardo and SH Figure Arts Leonardo. Definitely one of the shorter Leos out there, in no small part due to the hunch. But when these guys are side by side, you can really see how much has changed, not just in add-on pieces, but overall figure posture. Also, don't forget, this is not the Ninja Turtles' first time in the tokusatsu world. Here's Godzilla Leo with Super Turtles Leo. Technically, this figure is the American release called Super Mutants Leonardo. Here's Leo with a Playmates Godzilla from the New Empire. I don't know, it kind of makes you want Playmates to do a green Godzilla figure. I kind of want that now. Let's see if I love Mikey as much. The three-headed mutant. Why Michelangelo? Why did they take the gentlest good guy and make him the most evil bad guy? Mikey needs the most assembly. Looks like Leonardo already chopped him up. Honestly, I think the face is kind of horrifying. But they kept the overall turtle shape and put Ghidorah features around it, which was smart, but yikes. Same articulation as Leo, except Mikey can't spread eagle. Normal legs for him. Prude. They gave him the double tail, which arrives in 2 parts, and you attach them together, and you stick them up Mikey. Kudos to them for giving him the full double tail, but I'm not feeling these designs on the ends. I guess they're kind of meant to be turtle shells. I don't know, this part feels forced to me. Wings are translucent, you might have feelings about that. You snap them into the sides of his turtle shell. Doing this, the shoulder head popped off, and that's when I remembered that you could take the shoulder pads and put them on the hands to represent the 3 Ghidorah heads. That's how Mikey looks on the box art. I like that you have the option to make Michelangelo go full Ghidorah. But personally, I prefer the extra heads as shoulder pads. Michelangelo Ghidorah, there is so much going on here. Why did they make Mikey Ghidorah? Mikey comes with a lot. Look, he even comes with nunchucks too. I didn't even talk about these yet. These are weapons. They're translucent again, with the nunchucks held together by Ghidorah Lightning Beam. It is not bad. Fusing these 2 characters together is a big ask. I get it, and it could have gone way worse. Now, me personally, I wish the face had a very subtle Mikey smirk or something to let us know he's in there. That this is Michelangelo and not just any turtle. But for what it is, it's pretty good. Not my favorite, but good. I just wish Shredder were King Ghidorah instead. Putting Leo against Mikey, it just feels so wrong. How do these exist? What timeline are we in? Here's Ghidorah Mikey with NECA Wrestling Mikey, SH Figure Arts Mikey, King Ghidorah the party dude, am I right? Mikey and Super Mutant Mikey. Let's open the Mutant of the Sky, Raphael. He looks like he's in pain. So Raphael's combined with Rodan, and he needs no attachments. His wings are already on. They're also translucent wings. He does not have tail supports, so he does require a little more balance to get him to stand. Yeah, they did it. They merged Rodan with a turtle. The face is disturbing again. I guess there's no way around that, though. I wish it looked either meaner or softer or something else. It just looks so, like, animalistic right now. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the Raphael half of the mutation has lost control and this thing is just feral. It's got the same articulation as Mikey on the turtle parts, and his sides are made of fire, since Rodan's been known to shoot that from time to time. They go in his hands easily, and here is Raphael Rodan. I don't know, this one's more underwhelming. Here's Raph with NECA Wrestling Raph, SH Figure Arts Raph. See, Rodan doesn't feel like Raphael. Again, if only they could have snuck a hint of the individual turtle's personality in there somewhere. Raph and Super Mutant Raph. They look great together, all with different color palettes and different silhouettes. It feels weird without Donnie, but so far this is shaping up to be an imaginative set. I just don't know who they should square up against. Each other? This giant third-party Krang figure? Final verdict, are these worth $15 a pop? I think so. Especially if you like both franchises, which I do. Leo is my favorite. I have respect for the Mikey toy, but I don't love it, and Rodan Raph is also cool, but neither of them are as cool as Leo. In my opinion. In 2022, IDW released the crossover miniseries Godzilla vs. the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was a huge deal because at the time, it was very rare for Godzilla to cross over with other known fictional characters. Oh, how things have changed. I liked this miniseries. It had a very streamlined story by Cullen Bunn and great art by Freddie Williams. In 2025, there was a sequel miniseries, Godzilla vs. the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2. I did not like this one. The story was again by Cullen Bunn, but I felt like it was a bit convoluted, and a different artist, Baldemar Rivas, handled the art, which I personally found messy. But the second miniseries introduced a new concept. Kaiju Rangers! Designed by the artist of the first miniseries, Freddie Williams, these were Power Rangers with Toho monster themes. And they had Kaiju Zords! One of my criticisms of the second series was that it didn't seem like you got a lot of good looks at the Kaiju Rangers in the story. And when you did, the art didn't do them any favors. The whole concept felt poorly executed, and it felt like a sloppy idea to me that fell flat. But then, on March 1st, 2026, Playmates had to come along and release a series of Kaiju Ranger action figures. And baby, I'm back in! They made these characters look the best they've ever looked. Here, the idea works, and boy does it work. Wave 1 brings us Red Rodan Ranger, Green Godzilla Ranger, and Blue Anguirus Ranger. So let's dig in, starting, of course, with Green Godzilla Ranger. The boxes are really neat. They have art by Freddie Williams, with this big spread on the back where you can see the entire team. It's intense, but it's cool. But what I really like are how the sides of the boxes each have the characters. So if the boxes are ever stacked this way, it's real easy to immediately know which box is which. I don't know why, I really like that a lot. But enough ropey-dope, let's take a look at the Green Godzilla Ranger. You get a lot of stuff. The figure, 3 weapons, and the Godzilla Power Coin. At least I assume this is meant to be a power coin. It's plastic, and it's got Godzilla on it. But writing this script is when I realized that in the comic books, you don't really get a good look at the Kaiju Power Coins. You only really see the Rodan coin. You can see the power coins in the concept art, and it's clearly different than this figure's power coin. But here's what's neat, the coin doubles as stands for the action figures. That's a good idea. We get a sword, a little gun, and what's this? A little knife? I don't know. I don't know.
MIB's brother here. So these are Power Ranger Blade Blasters. They work as swords, but then they can be folded into blaster mode. All the Rangers have one. If MIB did any research, he'd know this.
Here's the Green Godzilla Ranger. I think he looks great. Best he's ever looked. And I want to jump right into articulation today. The head can turn, the shoulders can 360, but they cannot go outward. The elbows bend, but they are super stiff on my guys. I needed to use force to bend these. And unlike the shoulders, the elbows can turn outward. And the hands can turn. You cannot turn at the midsection. Stick a pin in that. Legs go up and down. The knees bend, and the ankles can turn. It seems like a generous amount of articulation. But we'll get back to that. Godzilla Ranger can stand fine without his base, which is great. But the base is useful if you want to try more dynamic poses. Although, what I found is that even with all these points of articulation, it feels very limiting in what poses you could actually do. I think we lose a lot by not being able to turn the waist, or maybe move the shoulders outward. However, I can understand both decisions. I love the helmet. It kind of looks like Godzilla's got a huge smile on his face. The dorsal plates on his back are kind of small, but that matches how they appeared in the comic. A few colors are off from the comic, though. In this book, he's got green gloves, but there's also cover art where the gloves are white, like the toy. But there's also cover art where they're green. On the monogram keychains, they're white. The weapons fit in his hands easily. There's no struggle whatsoever there. Let's do some size comparisons. It's remarkable that this Godzilla crossover toy line is happening at the same time as the Ninja Turtle Godzilla crossover toy line. Just a few years ago, the idea of seeing these in stores at all, albeit at the same time, was unfathomable. The Kaiju Ranger is obviously taller, although Leo's got a lot more going on in general. Speaking of Playmates toys, here's the Godzilla Ranger with a New Empire Real Feel Godzilla. Again, he's just a smidge taller. Here he is with his monogram bag clip counterpart. So we get a regular version of this character, and we get a little super deformed version. Look at these two. I would watch this movie. A few more size comparisons next to a Millennium Reaction, a soft vinyl Godzilla 2014, and a Millennium Haya. I just grabbed whatever toys were within an arm's length. Let's check out Red Rodan. No, not Red Ronin, Red Rodan. You could already tell he's gonna have a dramatically different silhouette, which is awesome. Everybody gets a blade blaster in a different color like my brother said, which means they get to reuse molds. Classic Playmates. The Rodan coin doesn't match the comic at all. He's not even facing the same direction as the comic. I'm sorry for being such a stickler about these things, but it bothers me. Here's his personal sword, and you're probably noticing the wings. If you were wondering, they don't turn in any way, they cannot be removed, but they definitely make this guy meaningfully unique. It's all the same articulation as before, so I'm not going to go over that again, although his elbows were really stuck. It took a lot of force to turn them. Red Rodan can stand without his power coin, but it's a lot trickier. The wings are throwing off the weight distribution. If someone's going to fall off your shelf without the base, it's this guy. There's a lot of design here, like his shoulder pads or his belt, that look like they were accidentally unpainted, but no. This is how it is in the comic. All those parts are supposed to be red. He's got lots of spikes on his shoulders, running down his back, on his gloves, his feet. I love this mold. I love this design. Because of Rodan's ears and wings, he's going to have a little bit more height than the Godzilla Ranger. When I put him next to his monogram counterpart, it occurred to me how much more vibrant the bag clip colors are, and how the Playmates figure is more of a reddish brown. So let me ask you, do you prefer the muted colors of the Playmates figures, or do you wish they were more vibrant like the monogram clips? Just for fun, let's put him next to Rodan Raphael, who is still terrifying to me. Yikes. And we're gonna look at Blue Anguirus now, and friend, this might be my favorite one. I can't tell you why, it just works. Let me show you. Same story as the last two times, 3 weapons, but only one unique one. In this case, it's the staff. Here's his power coin, although this is another figure that stands really well without it. And here's our blue boy, and I love him. This is such a good design in my opinion. Of course he's loaded with spikes on his head, on his shoulders. Check out his back. This is awesome. And I haven't pointed this out yet, but these guys are also really textured well. Godzilla and Anguirus particularly have scales running around their suits, and what's cool is that they're mostly different from each other. Maybe the legs are the same, but looking at their butts, you could see very different scale patterns. Look at Blue Anguirus, he's amazing! Sometimes the staff slips downward in his grip, but it usually doesn't. And with a little bit of effort, not much, but a little, you can get both hands holding the staff, so he looks like a Tusken Raider. Here he is with the monogram counterpart. Again, the chibi guy is way more vibrant, but in this case, I really like the muted blues and the grays on the action figure. I think Freddie Williams did a fantastic job designing these Kaiju Ranger costumes. He managed to work in the monster themes without those themes overtaking the Power Ranger templates that we're very familiar with. It just feels like posability is so limited. There's a very finite amount of positions you could put these guys in. And look, for $15 a pop, I know I shouldn't be expecting crazy posability. It's just that when playing with these, I could really feel the limitations. I'm nitpicking. Maybe it's by reflex, but I keep going to turn them at the waist, which they simply cannot do. I feel like that one more point of articulation could have opened up the doors for a lot more dynamic poses. But at the very least, I can make them all play Ring Around the Rosie. And that's what's important at the end of the day, right? believe it or not, Wave 2 of this line has already been revealed at the 2026 New York Toy Fair. I'm not sure when these will come out, but when they do, we'll get to finish the team with Pink Mothra, Yellow Baragon, and Black King Caesar. They also revealed a large Godzilla Megazord, which I'm kinda meh about personally, but I'm gonna reserve judgment until I'm holding the finished product. Playmates randomly dropped a wave of just 2 monsters, but they're both monsters many of us have been hoping for. We've got Monsterverse Rodan, the Fire Demon. Though the way he's packaged, he looks more like a butterfly. That black strip of plastic going across him looks like a seatbelt. This package looks like Butterfly Rodan is on a roller coaster ride. On the back, we have Rodan yelling at this tank he comes with. The toys at the bottom show some of the more recent releases, which I've already covered, and then Scylla. And on Scylla's packaging, it's some of the more recent releases that I've already covered, and Rodan. The Scylla figure is actually called Titanus Scylla. Some monsters seem to get that Titanus label while others don't. We have a nice picture of her on the back, and she does not come with an accessory. Let's get them out of their packaging. So Rodan's wings are not immediately attached, but this piece of plastic is. Get it off of me! Here's the tank he comes with. The top can swivel. Oh no, it can't swivel. It really looked like it could swivel. So why a tank? Rodan would be a really good figure to come with a jet. Actually, this would have been a great opportunity to have a small toy of the USS Argo, the Monarch Flying Command Center in the movie. Now that would have been cool. Monsterverse vehicle scaling is wild. This is a nitpick. I'm not really holding this against the line. It's just funny how small this plane is next to the tank. Before I put his wings on, look at him. Look at Rodan. He looks like he's absolutely fed up with this. He looks like he's yelling at the neighborhood kids. Get off my lawn! It looks like he's describing how big the fish he caught was. Hold on, I have a few more. It looks like he's DJing 2 invisible turntables. He looks like he's having a shouting match with Superman. He looks like he's going... The long, lanky, wingless arms aren't my problem with this figure. They're just funny looking. I'll tell you my problem, but first let's go over to Scylla. And I gotta say already, this is gonna be a decent figure. I've only had one issue with her that we'll get to, and it's minor. Scylla is packaged super flat, but you can fan the 6 legs out, of course, because there's some articulation where they meet the body. And you can also use that to make the front legs go up in an attack position. And when it's fanned out, she stands pretty well. There's also some limited articulation here, not here, and if you ever need to, you can spin her head completely upside down. If you ever need to. This is a good toy. I don't know what more I could really ask for personally. You can get her kind of squatted lower. Here she is next to Playmates Godzilla, and they scale well together. You can certainly have the two duke it out. The only issue, and honestly it's not really an issue, is that Scylla flattens super easy. Like, she wants to go back to that default position she came in the box in. She wants to be flattened. Here's Playmate Scylla next to Highest Scylla, almost the same size, which is crazy. Both are great toys in my opinion. Here's Playmate Scylla against the YMSF Scylla, the most expensive one of them all, and also the worst one. I love YMSF, but this Scylla looks bad, I won't lie. But how funny that they're both almost the exact same shade of orange. What do you think of Playmate Scylla? Did they nail it, or did they fail it? Peak or weak? Great or too late? In a box? With a fox? I will not eat green eggs and ham. I will not eat them. What am I talking about? Here's a new Empire group photo. What monsters are even left to make? A wart dog? A parrot frog? Scar King's harem? Back to Rodan. Let's go through his articulation. His shoulders can turn, so he can sort of flap his wings when they're on. His neck turns very slightly, not all the way around. Ah! Stop it! Stop it! The bottom of his tail turns, for whatever reason. His legs move here, and here at the knees. And his feet can turn. Alright, let's get these wings on. Each arm has 2 holes for the pegs to go into, and yeah, obviously he looks much better with the wings on, although it's still a little silly looking to me. It looks like one of those trench coat flashers. And this is the part of the video where I poo-poo all over a $15 toy made for kids. And look it, my YouTube peers have all been very kind to this figure, so I'm the odd man out here, and I know this. But I have a good case. Okay, first of all, I personally hate this lava paint on the wings, or whatever it's meant to be. All I see is electricity, which is what I'm gonna call it. I find this design choice wildly unnecessary, and this is only present on the inner wings. Now, for whatever reason, his tail is painted backwards. The inner tail has no electricity, so it's plain. That's fine. But the backside of the tail does have electricity, even though the back of the wings don't. If I turn the tail so that everything matches, you can plainly see that that's not how the tail is meant to be positioned. Fine, I'll let it go. And another thing we'll let go is scaling. Look, the scaling with the Playmates monsters is all over the place, and you wind up with a Rodan that's bigger than King Ghidorah. Here's the whole King of the Monsters cast, and Rodan is literally wider than the rest of them put together. I could forgive this. So why am I dogging on this Rodan toy? First of all, it's Playmates' own fault for raising my expectations. They've dramatically improved the quality of their Monsterverse toys since the line started. Like, look at these. You know, they're serviceable, they're kids' toys, whatever. But then Playmates went ahead and raised the bar on themselves. Look at the old Kong next to the newer Kong. Look at the improvements in texture, posture. Look at that ass. The newer toys have just been so much better. And with that, my expectations went up a little. And here's the thing. This Rodan toy is okay, but I already know for fact that Playmates can do a better Rodan. Because they already did! Do you remember Titan Tech Rodan? It's a better Rodan figure! It's colored better, with more fiery reds and less generic browns. The gradients and the paint work so much better. The wings don't have this stupid egg-cracking effect. It's just overall so much nicer. Look, the toenails are individually painted. Though I just noticed Titan Tech has 3 toes and the new guy has 4 toes. And I personally think the Titan Tech head sculpt is so much better. Its smile doesn't look so goofy, it's actually intimidating. And sure, the blacks on the new figure are a lot less subtle, but I prefer the faded blacks, especially because they're on a much better head sculpt. Plus, Titan Tech's head articulates at a better spot, which means you could position it so it looks slightly more like he could fly. Because Rodan flies. The new Rodan is stuck looking more down. Because his articulation is where the bottom of the neck meets the body, so he can't look up like he's flying at all. What the new Rodan offers is the ability to move its wings in different ways. But most of these ways are not very useful. How can I accept this Rodan that's mid at best, when I already know for fact Playmates could and did do better? The only issue with the Titan Tech Rodan is it's even bigger, so it really doesn't mesh with the other monsters with scaling, but that's okay, because it does this. Yeah, Titan Tech Rodan is easy and fun. If Titan Tech didn't exist, I'd be more accepting of this Rodan. If this Rodan came out when Playmates just started the Monsterverse, I'd be a lot more accepting. Although I still dislike a lot of things about it. But that's my beef. I was hoping when they got around to a Rodan, it would look more like the Titan Tech Rodan, but without all the Titan Tech stuff. I know. It's a kid's toy. Playmates has more monsters on the way. 2 guys from the Monarch TV series, the Ion Dragon and Titan X, were revealed at the 2026 New York Toy Fair. Titan X has Titan sex. What monsters would you like them to tackle next? Tell me in the comments. Also, tell me what you think about Scylla and Rodan. And maybe you can also tell me, where the hell is my Beast Glove Playmates? When's it coming to America? I want it!